Oh, oops, came in too early. This is very laid back, isn't it?
I thought we were having oranges and lemons.
Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, but I say it's alright. Alrighty, bit of Beatles. We haven't had the Beatles for ages, have we? Have we ever had the Beatles?
I don't keep track of the music, that's your thing.
Okay, I'll wind it down. So, welcome. It's Monday night. It is Monday night this time.
Can I take the sunnies off?
I'm going to take my sunglasses off. Yeah, good. Oh, sorry.
Did you have chicken?
Okay, let me just... Oh, yeah. That was pretty bright.
Gotta keep my dress up. I picked a summery dress.
It is Monday night, and just for a change, we're here. Well, we were here... Oh, no, we weren't. It was Tuesday night
last week because we were running...
So, and it's Monday night, which means it is, in fact, Kim's Top 5. And tonight, we've got a really interesting one, I think. Kim's Top 5 for...
Photosensitivity. Phototoxicity, yeah.
Yeah, or as I like to say, oils to put where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, put them where the sun don't shine.
Exactly. So it's good that you're with us tonight. Always excited to be here with you. And so let's get right into it, because we've got a bunch of cool oils to talk about.
Yep.
I'm going to put my glasses on so I can actually see what's happening. There we go.
So first off, I'm actually going to talk about what photosensitivity is.
Yes.
Okay. So it can be called all different kinds of things. Phototoxicity, photosensitivity. It's basically when the constituents in certain essential oils, when they're put on the skin topically and they come in contact with UV light, so the sun, or also the other thing that it can come in contact with is tanning beds. So a lot of people have been caught out because they've gone into tanning salons and laid under the UV lights in the tanning bed, and they've also had a skin reaction.
Ouch. Okay.
Yeah, and it can range anything from like a 1st degree burn to a 3rd degree burn. Okay, it can be quite serious, so you can get blisters. Yeah. It can be anything like skin pigmentation, freckles, even bleaching. Like, it can all different kinds of things it can cause on the skin. So. Okay,
which that's not good.
No.
So what do we do?
So basically what we want to try and do is, if we use photosensitive oils, you want to avoid the sun for at least 12 hours, but in some cases, particularly the ones further down my list, you're going to want to avoid putting them on the skin and going out in the sun for 24 hours. Sorry, for 48 hours.
Can I just ask a dumb question?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to make a difference if I put, what's that stuff called?
Sun cream.
Sun cream, thank you. It's been a long day. If I'm putting sun cream over it, is that going to make any difference, do you think?
Certainly that can help, yes.
Yeah.
But
okay.
as a general rule, I sort of advise to not go out in the sun, or to put it where the sun doesn't shine, which is kind of the theme for tonight's thing.
Yep, we'll be doing that.
Okay, so the reason that it's often the cold pressed oils, actually I was going to get a lemon and I was going to show you, I was actually going to squeeze the rind of the lemon and show you the oil.
Do you want me to get a lemon?
No, it's okay. Oh. When we steam distill the oils, we cook up the plant material. So in the case of, it'll be the rind and that kind of stuff, we would cook it up, even in lavender, peppermint, all of those kinds of things. They're what we call steam distilled oils. We cook up the plant matter and the steam rises, and then it gets cooled down in a condenser, and it cools in basically like the coils on the back of your fridge.
Yep.
And then the water and oils settle from the steam. The water sits on the bottom and the oil floats on the top. Now, when we do that process, a lot of the bigger molecules, which are the furacuramin, and I always say that wrong, furacuramin. I even listened to YouTube so I wouldn't get it wrong right before we started. And those molecules are quite large, so they don't come across in the steam distillation process. But when you actually get the rind of the citrus oils and you press it in like a vice kind of machine to squeeze out the oil, of course they come across.
Okay, so you're getting the bigger molecules, which you wouldn't get otherwise.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's why in steam, if you buy citrus oils that are steam distilled, often you won't see they won't be phototoxic.
Ah.
But not all, okay?
Okay.
So there are some exceptions to the rule, but
Interesting.
as a general.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you
you
very
go.
much. Okay. Alrighty. So do you want to give us the 5 then?
Okay, so...
We've got a selection here. We've got more than 5. But...
Well, yes, because I'm going to talk about some as we go along. So
Okay.
number 5 is bergamot, okay? Now, often people don't think of bergamot as a citrus, but it is actually a citrus oil.
Well, obviously, if you knew bergamot's correct botanical name, you would have known that.
Do you know what the bergamot's correct botanical name is?
Citrus aurantium bergamia.
Aren't you
Why are you
clever?
laughing? That's what it is.
Or you can read off my notes. Anyway, yes,
This
so
is
that's
why
what
I
it is.
get- I get that.
It's a citrus oil, and basically because the bergamot that Young
Oh,
Living
definitely.
sells is cold pressed, therefore it actually is photosensitive. Now, the interesting fact is that Young Living use bergamot in some of their baby products, okay? And any of the seedlings products that contain what we call the calm scent, so that's in the baby wipes, the baby wash and shampoo, and the baby oil, the bergamot that's used in that particular blend, the calm scent blend that's used in those products, is actually furacoumarin, yes, free. Okay, so it doesn't contain the bergamot that is phototoxic. So therefore, you can actually use those products on the baby. I mean, you don't want to put your baby out in the sun anyway,
No.
but just so that you know that it is free of that constituent.
That's good to know. What does a bergamot look like?
Well, it actually...
I don't think I've ever seen bergamot.
Well, it's not so much... it comes from the same tree.
Yeah.
Because I think you get... And correct me if I'm wrong, because horticulturalists will know this stuff more than me, but I think you get petitgrain and bergamot from the same tree.
Okay.
Or maybe,
Right. If anyone out there
rolling.
knows what a bergamot looks like, can you have bergamot juice with your breakfast? I don't know. It's a citrus.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll research that.
Okay.
So that was number 5. Bergamot. It smells fantastic.
Yeah.
That's why they put it in.
So, if you want to if you do want to use bergamot in your skin products, so often I use it in my moisturizers. It's a great oil to use in, for your skin. You can actually use it, but you need to dilute it, okay? So Robert Tisserand and Rodney Young wrote a book called Essential Oil Safety, and in that particular book, the dilution that they give for bergamot is actually 0.4% dilution, which basically in every 30 mils of carrier oil, so it might be 30 mils of jojoba or 30 mils of, V6 or almonds, apricot, whatever carrier oil you're using, you need to use 2.4 drops. So I know you're not going to get 0.4 of a drop, so therefore you're going to want to, either you need to use less than 2.4 drops in that 30 mils, okay? So if you're going to use 30 mils of carrier oil, then use 2 drops or multiply it by, 3 and use 6 drops in 90 mils, that kind of thing. So you want it to be a 0.4% dilution in order for it not to be photosensitive or phototoxic on your skin.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right, the next one I'm going to talk about
That was number 5?
Yeah, so number 4 is actually a blend, okay? Now, interestingly enough, okay, these 2 citrus oils by themselves aren't phototoxic, okay?
Okay, yep.
So,
Which 2 are we talking about?
tangerine and orange.
Okay.
Okay, according to Robert Tisserand and Rodney Young, they're actually not photosensitive or phototoxic by themselves. But the thing is, and this is interesting about essential oils, when you mix constituents, so when you mix these 2, they actually can become phototoxic. And do you know what blend they're mixed in?
I'm going to take a wild guess and go peace and calming.
It is in Peace and Calming.
Only because that's what you're holding in your hand off camera.
So Peace and Calming is actually a photosensitive or phototoxic oil, okay?
Wow.
So if you apply it as a perfume, like if you rub it on your neck or something like that and you go out in the sun, you are likely to get a reaction. So therefore, if you're using it on your children, make sure that you are diluting it or putting it where the sun doesn't shine so that it's not having a photosensitive reaction.
Okay, that's good to know.
So yeah, so those two by themselves, tangerine and orange, aren't on the phototoxic list by themselves.
So they're fine.
But when you blend them together, the constituents do make them phototoxic, and that's why Peace and Calming is actually listed as a phototoxic oil.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
Wow, we're learning a lot. So that's number 4.
Yep.
Number 3, another citrus?
Yes. Number 3 is lime.
Okay, that wouldn't be Citrus aurantifolia, would it? I didn't even look.
Sure, you read
I
it
didn't
before.
look.
Okay. So if you're using lime, once again, cold pressed from the rind, it's a 0.7% dilution, which is 4.2 drops to dilute it in 30 mils of oil in order to make it not phototoxic. Now this is particularly of interest when you're making things like lip balms, okay? Now, the thing I should have said about orange oil, because many of you know that I make lip balms with orange oil, okay? Now, it is the sweet orange oil that we use, okay? And if you use other orange oils, such as bitter orange oil, it actually is phototoxic.
What's the difference between sweet and bitter?
They're a different species.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So you want to make sure that if you are making my Jaffa lip balm and using orange oil, that you use our orange oil, because the other orange oils are, some of them are photosensitive, and if you're putting them on your lips, then you're likely to burn your lips.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that you're using the right botanical species. Okay.
And not all orange oils are. You can't.
No, you certainly. I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be using orange oil in my lip balms, because what do? You lick it. So you're
Yeah,
going to want to
that's
make
what
sure
I'm
that it
saying,
meets
yeah.
Food Standards Australia
That was
regulations
what I
and
was
can
trying
be
to get
used
to.
in food and drinks and
Yep.
things like that. So
Yep.
anyway, the next one is lime, and I use lime in the in my lip balms as well. I actually make a lip balm out of lime and tangerine, but once again, I've calculated the amount of drops for the 30 mils of carrier oil that, basically we're melting butters, and the butters and the amount of drops are the right amount of drops. So, okay. So there is kind of an art to some of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm learning a lot. So that number 3 was the lime. Number 2, citrus lemon.
Here's lemon oil.
What did we bring back from overseas?
Limoncello for my mum.
Limoncello.
My mum loves limoncello, so we bought that back from overseas.
There you go. Sorry. Anyway.
So lemon oil, okay? So lemon oil is a 2% dilution. So what I'm basically doing is going from the lowest sort of photosensitive oils to the highest, okay? So bergamots, even though there's a lot of information out there about bergamot, being a cause of photosensitivity, it's not as bad as some of the, it's not as, I guess, strong in the constituents that will cause phototoxicity as some of these other ones. So lemon, you need a 2% dilution, which is 12 drops in actually I'm going the wrong way around.
You are going the other
Bergamot
way. Yeah.
is the highest,
Yep.
and I'm going down to the lowest.
Yep.
So sorry to confuse you. So 12 drops in a carrier oil. We've still got jet lag. Don't listen to us.
So if you're watching this, we just got back from a Young Living trip.
We
and
told
a
them
holiday.
last week.
Yeah, I know we did, but I'm just saying if you haven't seen the last week's one, we just got back from a trip, and so we're still in another time zone. I don't know where it is. It's about halfway over the Pacific, I think. But anyway.
So this is lemon oil. So if you're making this to make it non-phototoxic, you want to do 12 drops in 30 mils of carrier oil. Okay. Oh, the other one that I should have said, well, this is a blend and it's not on my list, but it's because it contains lemon oil that I also advise against putting it where the sun doesn't shine or diluting it. And it's got hot oils in it anyway, so you want to be diluting it, but it's Thieves, okay? Because Thieves has lemon. So often people I know have put it on their neck or things like that in wintertime, and even in winter, they've got a skin reaction from going out in the sun, and it's because it's to do with the lemon oil that's in the Thieves.
Which is an interesting point, because if you're getting a skin reaction, it's worth considering that. It may not actually be the oil as such, it's the photosensitivity.
Yeah, sometimes it can be the photosensitivity.
Okay.
Yeah. There are other blends that also are photosensitive. So Thieves is one, Joy is another, and a lot of us wear Joy as a perfume, so you're just going to be careful if you're going out in the sun. Citrus Fresh, Gentle Baby. Gentle Baby actually contains the furocurcumin free bergamot, but it does contain lemon oil. So yeah, you just want to be careful of Gentle Baby if you're putting on your baby. And obviously you don't really want to put your baby out in the sun. And the other one is Stress Away because it contains lime oil.
Okay, wow.
So all of those are ones that you just want to be careful with. I'm not saying avoid, you just need to dilute, put them where the sun doesn't shine, or don't go out in the sun for 12 to 48 hours.
Okay, so 5 was bergamot, 4 was
Peace and
calming, sorry. 3 was lime, 2 was lemon, and that brings us up to number 1.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Yeah. Do you want to do the botanical name? Seeing as
I've got nothing.
Citrus paradisi.
Thank you very much.
And it's
actually my favourite citrus.
It's a cold pressed oil as well.
Yep.
So 4% dilution, 24 drops in 30 mils. Okay. So I mentioned that sweet orange and tangerine are actually not phototoxic. There's some other ones that aren't phototoxic as well, like yuzu. At the moment, we don't sell yuzu by itself. It's in Ninja Red, but it's not phototoxic.
Okay.
But even
jade lemon,
petitgrain is not phototoxic.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about jade lemon actually. I'd have to look that one up. But another one that is on the list, which we do sell as a single oil, is Angelica. So Angelica is actually phototoxic as well. Not white Angelica, that's a blend that doesn't even contain Angelica, but Angelica single oil does contain phototoxic ingredients. So anyway, so that's my top 5 for this week as in terms of phototoxicity. And
that was really interesting.
So yes.
Thank you very much. That just brings me to my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it is?
No, Jeremy, tell me what it is.
Well, here's an interesting thing, ladies. I don't know if you've had a chance to read this book. It's backwards, but it's Lucy Libido. And I had recommended actually fellas, because there's a lot of useful information in here when it comes to putting stuff where the sun don't shine. And one of the things, I was just having a flick through before, that Lucy says, is that when it comes to oils for men, for women, well, good old Shutran is her number 1 pick for a good oil to put where the sun don't shine. And in fact, she says it's the only one that you can put right where the sun don't shine. So there you go, that's my pick, Shutran. If you haven't read Lucy Libido's book, would you recommend it?
Yes.
That's all you got? It's a great book. And like I said, fellas, you should be reading this too. There's a lot of important information in here for you. So, that's all I got tonight. We need to get some sleep, I think.
Yeah. So, with summer coming up, I should have said this at the beginning, but basically the reason we wanted to cover this topic tonight is because a lot of you out there make perfumes or use essential oils as perfumes. You're putting it in your skincare, all of those kinds of things. And, it's just a matter of being cautious as far as which citrus oils you use in your skincare or as a perfume. So
and it goes back to that idea of I keep coming back to that people go, oh, these are all natural, they're all harmless, there's nothing. I mean, they're fantastic, but you have to use them intelligently and you have to use them safely, and obviously we don't want people getting photosensitive reactions.
Yeah, so, I'd hate to see you with some skin pigmentation or looking a bit like Michael Jackson because you went a bit overboard with the lemon oil in your moisturiser.
Yes, it didn't do him any good, did it?
No. So anyway. All right. Good night, guys. See you next week.